Dante's Inferno, Canto 16. Already I'd reached a place where the dull thrumming of the water tumbling down to the circle below was heard ahead, like the sound of a beehive's humming. When lo, 3 shadows, running all in a row, broke from a company that across the sand was passing under the rain of the burning woe. They came towards us, crying with one voice, "Stand thou there, the fashion of whose dress would seem to make thee a native of our perverted land." Oh me, the marks I saw upon every limb, branded in by the flames, old scars and new. It makes me heartsick only to think of them. Heedful, my teacher heard these spirits through, then turned his face my way. "Now wait," said he, "to these the utmost courtesy is due. Were not this place by nature arrowy with fire, I'd say it was far more suitable that thou shouldst hurry to them than they to thee." They raised their voices again when we stood still, renewing their ancient wail. Then, coming close, the 3 of them formed themselves into a wheel, like old-time champions, stripped, oiled, on their toes, circling and spying for vantage of hold and place before getting down to clinches and to blows. Just so they wheeled, but each one kept his gaze so fixed on me that all the time one way the feet went and another way the face. "Hey, though scorn prompt thee," one began to say, "seeing our squalor and scorched filthy state, from us and from our prayers to turn away, let our great fame yet move thee to relate what man thou art, that free and dangerless thus through deep hell does move thy living feet. He in whose tracks I tread here, nevertheless, for all he now goes naked and peeled and scored, was nobler in degree than thou could guess. Grandson to Gualdrada was this lord. He was called Guido Guerra, and his fame in life stood high with counsel and with sword. He that behind me treads the sand and flame was Tegei Aldobrandi once. Applause up in your world would surely greet that name. Here, partner in their pain am I, who was Jacopo Rusticucci. Of this woe, my bestial wife's the first and foremost cause. Could I have kept the fire off there below, I'd have leapt down to them, and I declare I think my tutor would have let me go, that I'd have burned and baked me so that fear quite vanquished the good will which made me yearn to clasp them in my bosom there and then. So I began. Indeed, not scorn, but heartfelt grief to see your tribulation pierced me too deeply to be soon outsworn. When this my lord gave me an intimation which made me think I might look to gaze on men like you and of such reputation. Truly your city's mine. I've heard your praise, your deeds, your honored names rehearsed by all, and have with love rehearsed them all my days. I'm one who, turning from the bitter gall, seek the sweet fruit promised by my sure guide, but to the center I have first to fall. So may thy soul these many days abide, housed in thy body, and the afterlight of fame shine long behind thee, He replied, "Tell us, if in our city still burn bright courage and courtesy as they did of old, or are their embers now extinguished quite? A glut of self-made men and quick-got gain have bred excess in thee and pride, forsooth, O Florence, till e'en now thou criest for pain." Thus I proclaimed aloud with lifted mouth. The three knew they were answered, each on each looking, as men look when they learn the truth. "If thou at other times canst thus enrich men's ears," they all replied, "scot-free as thus, happy art thou. Thou hast the gift of speech. Wherefore, if thou escape this place of loss, and come to see the lovely stars again, then when thou shalt rejoice to say, I was, look that thou speak of us to living men." Thereon they broke their wheel and fled so fast their legs seemed wings, yet could not say Amen so quickly as across the sandy vast they vanished. Only then my master stirred, choosing to go. I followed. On we passed, and went but a short way, before we heard the sound of the water thundering down so close that had we spoken, we'd scarce have heard a word. And plunging over a steep chasm, we found that dark-dyed water, bellowing with a din such that the ear would soon be stunned with sound. I was wearing a rope girdle, the same wherein I once indeed had nursed a fleeting hope to catch the leopard with the painted skin. Now, at my guide's command, I loosed the rope and took it off and held it out to him, all neatly wound together and coiled up. He took it, and leaning right hand from the brim of the pit, he tossed it over the precipice, so that it dropped well out from the rocky rim. "Sure, some strange and novel thing will rise," said I to myself, "to answer this strange sign, which thus my master's following with his eyes." Dear me, when one's with people who divine more than they see and read one's thoughts right through, how careful one must be. My guide read mine. "Oh, it will come," said he, "and quickly too, the thing I look for. What thy fancies frame here in thy head will soon be in thy view." When truth looks like a lie, a man's to blame not to sit still, if he can, and hold his tongue, or he'll only cover his innocent head with shame. But here I can't be silent. And by the song of this, my comedy, listener, hear me swear, so may my work find favour and live long, that I beheld through that thick murky air come swimming up a shape most marvellously strange for even the steadfast heart to bear, as he returns, that has gone down to free the anchor from whatever's fouling it, or rock, or other thing hidden under sea, spreading his arms and gathering up his feet.